Okay, so here are the supplies that I have. I've got my awl. I'm switching out to a straight needle just to help me if I get stuck in these holes. I can pull it out a little easier with a pair of pliers or something. And then I have my thread, which is 5 lengths, 4, 5, and then I gave at least 5 lengths, and then I gave myself about 6 lengths. So first of all, we're going to thread the needle and pull that down. And then we're not going to double it, and we're not going to knot it at all. The other thing I did from class was I used my awl and I pushed all the way through to the widest part of that shaft, all the way through, just to widen those holes out the whole way through. I did that with all the pages as well, so that it wouldn't be nearly as tight as it was today in class. So that should help me as I'm sewing this and binding it up. So the first thing is I'm going to start at the second to the bottom hole. I'm going to push it through about, oops, I'm sorry. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split my book into about half here. I'm going to come through the middle of that page and I'm going to come up the second from the bottom hole and go through the corresponding hole in the cover. I'm going to pull this string until it is about the length of the book, like that. And then I'm going to pull it just a little bit so it sits inside, it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to sandwich that in the middle. The next step for me to do is to go up to the next hole, go through all of the pages this time, and through the back cover. It's pretty easy to go through right now, but I'll be coming back through that hole and doubling it up, so it might get it'll get tighter for sure. All right, so now that I'm on the back side of this, the next step for me to do is to come over the top like this, go back through that hole, all the way through the pages, pull your string out of the way as best you can so you don't put your needle through your string and fray the string, and pull that needle all the way through. Now this time over here I was pulling it through, and I was just pulling it through snug. Whoops, I got a little knot here. That's not what I meant to do. I thought I was unknotting it. Let me pull that back through. There we go. I pulled it through just so that it was snug here. This one I can pull pretty tight because it's got enough of this run here and it's caught in between to make it fairly tight. Then I'm on the back side of the book. I'll go through the hole again, the next hole, and through all the pages and out through the top. Pull that one in tight, come back around, pull it through, keep it going this way as you pull this one tight. When you pull it tight, try and get them to look as parallel as possible. Then I'm going to go over the top of the book this time and back through that hole. Pull the string out of the way so I don't put my needle through the string and fray it. Now this one's getting pretty tight here, so I'm going to use my pliers. I'm just going to pull that needle all the way through. And this one comes around the side, so it makes that nice corner, that square right there. Then your needle goes back through that second from the top hole. If you need to, you can always turn your book upside down like this and just use your mat to push it through so that you can get a hold of it, and then pull the needle all the way through. That's a nice tension on that hole. That means that it's not too loose and that it will hold the thread snug inside there. Then go down to the second to the bottom. This time, this is the one that you only went through part of it, so you'll end up pulling that all the way through. Go on down to the last hole. You see this is kind of loose. That's that inside thread. I'm just going to open that up and pull it tight. Let's see here. Oh, that's this one right there. Pull it tight. Pull this through. Go over the top. Push it in and then pull the needle through. I want this one to go over the side like that, just like before. And this time I'm going to go back around and go over the top. Pull it through. Keep it on the edge so that it's going over the top. Come back through. That's closing it off. And then go back, come back over. And this time as you come through, you want to pull that through to this spot right here. Now, this is where I'm actually going to switch needles. I'm going to switch out from the straight needle to my curved needle. And get it threaded here. There we go. So I'm going to pull this in and then I'm going to angle it the best I can through here without poking it through any of those pages. So I'm going to come back over here. I've got it open and start angling this as I start to push it through, kind of working my way into those pages. This is the hardest part of it right here. And try and keep this in the view of the camera as I do this. Sticking my finger in there just a little bit to open it up, and I can start to see my needle in there, and as I push it and try and avoid poking it through the other pages, as I pull this up, there we go, you can kind of see it right here. I'm going to use my pliers just to pull on that needle. Pull it through and pull that tight. I'm going to pull on the other one tight as well. Make sure everything is tight. And there's our stitching. Got a little loose right here. See where that one is at. There we go. I'm going to pull some of these tight. There we go. Pull that one tight. There it is. All right, now take your needle off. Open it back up to this page right in the middle. And then all you need to do is, if you're using wax thread, is just one knot. And you keep pulling that thread until it's way down inside the binding. And then you trim the edges. I need to get a pair of scissors to trim those. Trim it down as low as you can. And then use your needles to push those tails into the hinge part of the book. Can't quite get that one. That one I did fine. This one is eluding me. There we go. And now there's no visible knots. Just like that. It's beautiful.